Jackie and Marshall, and here it is. They're walking away from the get together, and Jackie walked away like absolutely nothing happened. Like, oh yeah, I saw Josh, so whatever. Like she didn't sit over there and have a whole one-on-one conversation of her conversation with Marshall was just like, so.
It was. She really downplayed it. But what tripped me out is I like looking at Marshall's eyes when they zoom in on him and he gives you that look.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that dad when you're messing up. He's looking at you from across the room with just that stare.
She's Marshall like, oh, you have such pretty eyes. You have such pretty eyes, Marshall.
These are angry eyes. These are angry eyes.
You don't want to see me when I'm angry.
After they had the group get together for Chelsea's birthday and they get back to the house, Jackie was just pretty much done. She's tired and ready to go to bed. And Marshall was like, no, we're going to talk today, which kind of goes back to what we were talking about last week. I'm like, hey, they're mad. Let them go. Let them go to sleep.
Okay,
deal with it tomorrow. But some people say, no, you don't go to bed with unresolved business. So.
But when you're dealing with a 5-year-old, sometimes you have to let them go and sleep it off, right? And let's be honest, there's nothing Marshall could have done in that moment. Actually, what he probably should have done was just, all right, well, let's go cuddle up and get his last bit of loving from her, because there was absolutely none to be had past that, right? He should have known that. He should have seen that. But she probably would have gotten turned away anyway, so.
Yeah, she wouldn't have felt it at all. And then he kept asking her, what do you need from me? And then she comes up, just love me. I'm like, after the way you were acting? Nope. I can't love you tonight. Not at all.
Yeah, pretty much. Because, here's the thing. She really gave away everything that was happening, right? And it's like her namesake, Jackie says. It says Jacqueline played. I like how she spelled out Jackie's name completely, like Jacqueline. Let's make sure we talk about her first. Jacqueline played Marshall from the jump. The first time she called him dumbass after the reveal, I knew she was going to play him. And you know what? We saw this happen. We saw it unfolding. She had a good poker face at Chelsea's party, but it started to crack as the longer she spoke to Josh, right? Well, here's the thing about it. As Marshall asked Jackie, what does she want from him? And she wants no part of the conversation, and he's still going, I just need to know. She blows him off, saying, oh, well, you're doing everything perfect. We knew that was BS, right?
Right.
But then she also goes on to say, well, I've had an emotional day and emotional conversations where I don't even know what's going on. Wait, what? Stop. Hold up. What does that mean? And that's where he sort of stopped her. What do you mean? Emotional conversation? You don't know what's going on? What don't you know what's going on?
Well, apparently, teeth cleaning can just really emotionally drain you throughout the day. So, and we all know she has some stuff going on in her personal life, and so that could be a part of it. But I think the reality was she was done. Now she's just trying to figure out, how do I let Marshall know that I'm done? Yeah.
No, that's true. Here's one character says, emotionally unavailable people don't have the bandwidth to deal with emotions on a whim. Because she's like, look, I just want to go, bro, I just want to go to sleep. I got to work tomorrow. Bro.
I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. Yeah. No, and so it was really interesting. On her Instagram, she was upset about how they played it. Because we always talk about this, how the producers kind of have a spin of how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
So the way the whole episode aired, it made it seem like she was kicking it with Josh and then later on broke up with Marshall, which wasn't the case. They had their hot talk that next morning or the next day. And that's when she kind of ended it, which is really what all of us in the chat, we're like, yes, leave Marshall alone.
Next up, we have wedding dress shopping and tuck shopping. Of course, yours and mine favorite part of any of these shows that involves weddings. And we know it's a necessary evil. And guess when you talk about the evil, Jackie did not even show up for the dress fitting.
And I'll be honest, like the whole dress part of, what was that, episode 10? That part just bores me. I wish they would just skip through a lot of that. Yeah. Because I just don't get anything out of it. But the fact that Jackie didn't...
But...
Right. So I wish they would skip through it because I don't get anything out of it. But I'm sure other people do. Hey, great. It's just not my thing. And anytime we watch this show and they get to this part of it, I'm always kind of just checked out.
Yeah.
But the fact that Jackie didn't show up and I like how, Tiffany was like, hey, babe,
Yep.
want some tea? Okay. Jackie's not here.
And then what did Brett do? He did what he was supposed to. He went over, hey, Marshall, come here for a second. He caught Marshall in the middle of, telling a nice little love story. Hey, bro, come here for a second. Come here for a second. Let me just tell you something. And he did his duty. He told him, and you literally watch Marshall break down, but stay tough in front of everybody and just exit stage left because we didn't see him again. And kudos to Brett. Brett has put Marshall under his wing and come here, young fella. Let me help you out here real quick, brother.
Yeah, Marshall, he went into that Ike mode. Like if the dancers messed up, they were off cue. That look,
yeah,
that was the look that Marshall had. He was hot. But I respect the fact that Brett did that, and you're right. That's bro code. That's what you're supposed to do, because he's out there trying to pick this tux, and he's in the middle of telling how this person is his world and how she makes him feel, and doesn't realize that she didn't even show up to go try on the dresses. Right.
It was the mature thing to do. And like Tasha said, he pulled him aside instead of standing in front of anybody, which that's the case. Drew's not even here for it. He says, his ass shouldn't have been at the fitting either.
Right.
Let's get to the juicy part. Jackie and Josh. Because Jackie didn't show up to the to get her her dress, and as Tony says, Jackie's for the streets, and she was in the streets with Josh, meeting up with him, and admits that she was immediately attracted to him.
Yes, she did. She admitted she's immediately attracted to him. Josh came in, doing his whatever swag thing that he does.
Yes,
and he was just putting his Mac down, and she was for it. But what I did make note of around this particular part, this is the part I was saying that Jackie said that this scene happened after the fact. So it makes it seem like everyone else is dress shopping and she snuck off with Josh.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the case from what Jackie's saying on her Instagram account. She's trying to set the record straight. But she still met up with him. And all of us are like, we're not upset. We're more like, hey, Marshall, we wish you'd have got out a long time ago. But Jackie, if you want Josh, go for it.
Here's the thing, though. I didn't think it happened at the same time. I figured it's just timing in the way they did it. So, but of course, there's some people going to see it that way. But obviously, because the way they kind of did it, and they had to acknowledge the fact that she wasn't there. Where was she? All right, she's meeting with him. Doesn't mean it was exactly the same thing, the same time, right? But she goes on. Here's what I didn't like, and I'm sure she didn't, talk about this in her post or in any of her tweets, because she definitely went on a Twitter rage for a while. She goes on to tell Josh that Marshall is too sensitive for her. Why? Because it's the first time she's had someone love her and tell her and show her that they love her. And then she continues to dog out Marshall even more to Josh. That to me shows her lack of class, period.
But what made you think she had class before she did?
My bad.
I mean, there's nothing about her that made me think, wow, Marshall she's a classy young lady. No, she's a young lady that's been in some really bad relationships, doesn't really know who she is or what she wants, and probably should never have signed up. She should have never signed up for the show. And I'm sure she's not liking all the smoke that she's getting, because on her Instagram, you can't comment. So she blocked all comments from everything because people went back to stuff she posted in 2017 and were just putting trash cans, trash.
Yeah.
Sad faces. So she shouldn't even been in this process because she can't handle a guy like Marshall.
Now, here's the thing about this, and I know this coming up quite a bit here in the chat. Like Monique says, Jackie's a lie, right? Okay, just leave that straight up there like that. That could go for many things. But Jerry says that coffee shop meeting was not the first time they talked or saw each other after that party. You know what? The way they got up and left, that was not a first time kiss. I totally agree with Jerry on this, because that just looked like, a regular. We've been kissing for a minute type get up and leave kiss. It just dog and walk.
Well, but you're also forgetting that all that connection they've spent in the pods where they fell for each other. So I think a lot of times they come out of the pod still having those feelings. I think there could be something. So maybe could have been their first kiss. I don't know.
Yo, Dallas boss says, "Can we cut Jackie a little slack?" No. She asked Marshall to man up, and he ran to his car like someone just snatched his grandma's leg.
Come on now. We're on Marshall's side. I thought we were all Team Marshall.
Apparently not.
Yeah. I thought we were Team Marshall today.
Paris says, "I'm surprised Jackie was attracted to Josh. Josh is not what Jackie described as her type. She wants her 15 minutes of fame as well." Could be.
Possibly so. So after the meeting with Josh, now at least what we saw in the show, then the fun stuff happened.
Yeah, because so she goes back to the apartment. Marshall shows up, and she says the outside world got to us. No, Josh got to you. Don't taste the outside world. And then here's the funny thing. This is where it really got to me. She lies and says it was the convo after Chelsea's party that was the final straw. Mm-hmm. But keep in mind, prior to Josh walking in, she tells us in that confessional that, one-on-one with the producer / the camera, and says that she was attracted to him the minute she saw him at the party. So the final straw was really when you walked in, you heard Josh's voice, and like, oh, Josh is here. Even though she put on the poker face, she was all about Josh the minute she walked into that. But she was also done with Marshall that day too. Yeah,
I think even if Josh didn't show up to Chelsea's party, Jackie was done. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't have sex, bro. Well, there's why you don't have sex. And so I think Jackie was done regardless of Josh showing up or not. But I think in that moment, she womaned up and was just like, hey, look, I can't give you what you need. Mm-hmm. I can't do all these things for you. And Marshall's just sitting there mad, which rightfully so. But, and then he's like, well, I want the ring back. Mm-hmm. And I was like, good for you. I probably would have asked. And then what did she say? I'm not giving the ring back.
Yeah, that was kind of bad for her to do that. I mean, I guess, for her thing, because she did put it on Twitter saying, look, Love is Blind paid for the ring. I'm not giving that back. Because he didn't pay for the ring. That's jacked up still.
Yeah, and then that project mind kicked in. I'm going to take this ring and I'm going to flip it. Yeah. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this money and I'm going to take that $5,000. I'm going to flip that. Yeah, because she's not going to wear the ring. Mm-hmm. Who would do that? Just walk around wearing a ring. Why would you keep it? But I think it's sad for Marshall. She handled the whole thing badly, but he got his closure, and he has to process that and move on.
What I like though, because she goes, "Well, maybe I'll see you around." He goes, "No, you won't." And I like the fact that at least in that moment, she probably went, "Ooh, do you want makeup sex?" She probably got a little turned on by him saying, "No, you won't," because finally he stood up for himself, which he hasn't been doing this entire time.
Yeah, well, and I'm glad he said, no, you won't. I would be the exact same way. It's like, okay, you're doing this to me. Okay, we don't need to connect. And you don't need to be able to follow me on social of any kind. I'm going to block you from all of it. You don't need to know how I'm doing.
Yeah.
Period.
Mona made this point, because I saw this popping up a couple places. Someone said she posted she's married, but erased it. Yeah, she had to take that post down, I believe, because she's trying to clear up a lot of stuff. And that's the problem as this is happening and you're getting dragged on social media. You feel like, because something she said, and she was like, well, I'm married, stupid, to just replying to somebody else. And I'm sure they're like, please remember your NDA, delete all those tweets. Save it for the reunion.
I don't know if I could have packed with her still in the house. Like, I'd been like, hey, I'm going to leave. You pack your stuff. Mm-hmm. And then the producers will let me know when you're gone, then I'll come back, because I don't know how I'd handle that. But when she's talking outside to the camera, she's like, I'm sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry.
Yes.
Actually, no, I'm not sorry. And so at least she admits, she's like, hey, look, I'm crazy. I probably need to do some self-work. Mm-hmm. Yes, you do.
Yeah, and remember she did say, like Stacey pointed out, did say she was too crazy to get married? She did kind of say that. She said, maybe I'm not gonna maybe I'll just be by myself. Maybe I don't even deserve to be married. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, I hope she gets the help that she needs, and all the smoke that she's getting on social, she brought that on herself. So I don't feel bad for her. I hate that people like go after some of these folks and just really purposely find a way to go at them personally.
Yeah.
Whether in their DMs or show up at their house and put signs up and all that kind of stuff. I hate that when that happens, but I didn't make you do this show.